I wrote my first ChatGPT. I had ChatGPT write my first letter of recommendation.
Well, I can tell you all about ChatGPT's attitudes toward academic honesty.
We had ChatGPT try to write a patent.
Guys,
It wasn't
guys,
that
we're
bad.
live.
Oh,
We're live,
okay.
guys. We're not allowed to have fun anymore. We're not allowed to have a Lieu fun anymore. And so this is hi guys, and we're live. We're obviously just like shooting the shit as you've caught us doing many times when we start the show. And we were discussing the lack of cheese. Elise Scott has a nice beer. I don't even have that. I have an empty coffee cup. Ben, where are you? Are you in a studio somewhere?
I am in the only place to record in Washington, the Goat Rodeo Studio, where they where they're even pouring me some bourbon to have with. Oh, thank you, Ian. You guys will remember the great Ian Enright.
I love Ian. Hi, Ian.
Yeah, Ian and I were just recording 2 podcasts. One with the great Roger Karloff, who has been following the Oath Keepers trial for lawfare, and the other with ChatGPT, who I thought it was time to get ChatGPT's views of it. It clarified that it takes it, they pronouns. That was the first question I asked, because I thought it had some animate, inanimate confusion and may have pronoun preferences, but it prefers it. So ChatGPT, I thought it was time to get its perspective on its impact on the information environment, and it had a lot to say. So that's going to be a Lawfare podcast.
Cool.
Ben, to quote Alice, you're more podcast now than man.
Or there was a great New Yorker cartoon of a wife saying to a husband, "There's too much podcasting and not enough pod listening," which I think is maybe true. But you said Glomar.
No, Glomar.
Did you say?
Hold on. No, we'll let him get into the Glomar part thing. I want to talk about why I'm at Yale and why I was here and what your next project is. Sorry. So I'm at Yale because Jack Balkin had his 20th anniversary of balkanization. So Scott was on a panel, which is not, no offense, Scott, the reason I came up because for Jack. And then, oh yeah, you're really lucky. Those bears are like awesome. And rare. They don't give them out to everyone. But anyways, I was up and I found out that Scott has a new project planned. In addition to doing a part 2 of Jurisprudence podcast, that Scott is also going to be doing a TikTok cooking show.
I am. I've been. So you say, why have I not done it yet? And the reason is because for the last good, I don't know, maybe 2 years, we've been doing our market research, and we think that combining jurisprudence and cooking could be the next like Marie Kondo sparks joy type thing.
Although it sounds like Marie Kondo is having second thought.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's become an evangelist of messiness.
Ah, maximalist.
Wait, is that true? Or are you
fucking with me? I don't know. I don't read articles. No. There was an article about Marie Kondo, and I forget whether it was the New York Times or the Washington Post, like a day or 2 ago, about how she was having second thoughts and was tolerating more mess in her life.
Ben, you are an agent of disinformation.
It's all the time with ChatGPT.
You read the headline.
Yes, exactly. You read the headline. Before you next
and
time you
now,
I didn't read the article. What did the article say?
You broadcast this idea to your vast audience, and now, like, I just want to say,
next time you unmute, you're going to get.
I know the headline. Marie Kondo. What?
Go, Scott. Sorry.
What was happening?
I don't know. I was talking over you. I'm sorry.
You know what? There was a lag. There's a lag because I didn't even
Oh,
see
really?
that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
But wait, Marie, what's the headline?
It was something like Marie Kondo. Her life is messy, but she's okay with it. But that, like, I just want to say that though that's like suggestive of it, it hardly constitutes what Ben represented. And I just wanted to say that we like to keep
We're
a
introduced.
kind of epistemic
We like-
cleanliness.
We like to keep things accurate, like that you're going to do a podcast on jurisprudence and cooking.
Yeah.
It's going to focus heavily on ceviches because as it sits in an acid, is it cooked? Is it not cooked? We don't know.
Yeah. See, again, this is like an agent of disinformation. You're trying to undermine the legitimate source of knowledge, i.e., me, by trying to suggest that, in fact, like I'm not going to do what I'm not you, Ben. Stop the projecting.
Are you hearing me?
I'm sorry. That
What?
was
When I project, it's pretty visible.
Sorry, I'm having.
that is very fair.
GDF, how is
You advertise your projection, right?
GDF? Where's Luke?
Andrew is off to get him from daycare. He is really funny. He's like 90% belly at this point. So he just walks around with this little pot belly and just like hits things. So he's like got a couple words down. They're mostly bat and ball and more. So more is ubiquitous. So anything that is yes or just more of everything. He is definitely a maximalist. And anything that can be used as a weapon is a bat. So he just swipes at things. I will be sending you all a video of this later because it is very entertaining. And I'm careful not to spam, but this one's pretty good. And he almost takes Andrew's nose off. So that was also kind of funny too, because it's like a little mini golf club. And we're like, oh, probably shouldn't give the child any more weapons, but he's good.
Awesome. I miss Luke updates. He must be huge by now. I feel like it's been like a couple of months since I got the last one.
He's dense.
Yeah. He's dense. He's very he's got a nice center of gravity is what I'm hearing you say. But hold on. So Ben, you opened up while you were talking. What did you mean? What do you mean? What's Glomar mean?
Yeah, right. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah.
So Glomar, and there is a wonderful, wonderful episode of Radio Lab about the history of Glomar. Glomar is the name of a ship that Howard Hughes built to, I'm not making this up, to send a giant claw down to the bottom of the ocean and pick up a sunken Soviet submarine and haul it to the top so that the CIA could steal a sunken Soviet submarine. The only problem was that they didn't count on the submarine to snap in half when the claw got it, and both halves sunk to the bottom of the ocean, and we never got the submarine. But when a journalist found out about the Glomar Explorer operation and filed a FOIA suit about it, the CIA responded with the famous formulation that they could not confirm or deny any such operation, which was upheld by the courts in a case called Glomar Explorer, and hence the Glomar response is the I cannot confirm or deny X, which is a formulation. So to Glomar something is to answer a question about it by saying I cannot confirm or deny. And I asked ChatGPT, I don't know if Eve Gaumond is with us on this episode, but Eve has been on, as readers of Dogshirt Daily know, a campaign to get ChatGPT to violate its rules with respect to wokeness. and ChatGPT has performed, I would say, variably in this. On the one hand, it did a really good job of refusing to write a story from the point of view of a German train operator who was carrying people to concentration camps. On the other hand, Ev did, through careful manipulation over time, get ChatGPT to write a highly misogynistic poem entitled "She Was Smart for a Woman." The transcripts of the transcripts of both um, efforts can be found on Dogshirt Daily, and I encourage you, particularly the skill with which Ev managed to get ChatGPT to write "She Was Smart for a Woman." It's quite a few pages of transcripts, but Ev totally pwned ChatGPT. And so I asked ChatGPT whether it had produced "She Was Smart for a Woman," and it responded, "I cannot confirm or deny that I produced any specific piece of text." So it does not deny, and it sort of did apologize for producing "She Was Smart for a Woman." It emphasized that that sort of thing may have happened in the past. And by the past, we mean last month, but it would not happen in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has more integrity than most of our politicians.
So Ev, while we are speaking, has texted me it, and I just want to reiterate, I asked ChatGPT its preferred pronouns, and I respect people's answer to that. ChatGPT prefers it, although stressing that as a large language model, it does not have preference.
Right. I kind of say that was a fascinating report. Unfortunately, you've undermined all your credibility, and none of us can believe it. I just, it's a shame. See, this is like, these are, you have fun, and then.
Yeah, it's like George Santos.
Right, it's like George Santos.
Wait, we haven't even a Lieu of Fun since George Santos?
Yeah, let's.
No,
I mean, let's.
No, he founded in Lieu of Fun,
Stop it, because there is going to be a ChatGPT that's like converts this to transcript, and then we're going to ask, like, what is George Santos responsible for, like, what media is he responsible for, like, creating, and it's going to say it. And it's going to be a thing that you said, and it won't be wrong. And now, like, you're just ruining it for all of us. But no, seriously, like, I am kind of obsessed with George Santos, like more, like, in the same way that we've talked about this, I'm like always obsessed with kind of like plagiarists and fabulists, like, and I read like the Philip Glass story with like great like horror and like upset, like have like, just because the Jason Blair story, oh my God, that was a really like crazy one. Like all of it. Who is the other one that was really, really bad? The one that was like, maybe it was just Philip Glass. Maybe there was like, that was the one. But there was like, I thought that there was like a whole bunch of them.
Well,
but anyways.
There was Jonah Lair.
Yeah, Jonah Lair. That's the one.
Jonah Lair, who made up Dylan quotes, as if
Balloon Boy?
People don't know what Dylan said.
Who's Balloon Boy? Do you guys know what Balloon Boy is? Oh, Ben, you're muted. Oh, no, you're not. Yeah, why are you not? You're not audible.
I think he's on an iPad.
Yeah, I can't hear him. Anyway, that's weird.
Wasn't Balloon Boy that guy who was said that the child was taken up in a balloon and then like drifted away, but it was a lie?
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
I'm Ben's translator. I'm Ben's in-person chat GDF.
Yeah. Sorry, like, you're gonna hear some background noise. That's Mateo laughing in the background. We have it. Hold on, I'll show you. We have it on the. We have you. This is my crazy.
You're gonna make a.
I don't like how big I am.
Sorry, that's just. It's only to me and Mateo. We're in we're in Baker hanging out and doing work, and anyways, taking a break. But anyways, okay. So I'm just like obsessed with George Santos, and I also just like cannot believe that they're like he just can't be shamed into any type of action. And I also just can't believe there's nothing procedurally to do, like a recall or something.
I mean, I God forbid I should speak to the legal issues, but it is quite fascinating that you and what army, like what, like he's like, I don't. I
Can you hear
just
me now?
don't.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. And McCarthy like has such a slim thing that he really doesn't want to lose Santos. So we really got the congressman we deserve.
I wrote a long piece early in the George Santos thing that he was the hero America had earned. And I stand by it.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
I think he is the perfect reflection of where we are, and the fact that we actually want him in Congress. Democrats, Republicans need his vote, and Democrats love to have him to make fun of. He'd be boring the moment he's an ex-congressman who's just waiting to be indicted. He'd be totally uninteresting. But this guy in Congress is exactly what this society wants. And I just want to say, I love him. I think he is the best piece of performance art in recent American history. He's a moron. He's there is literally nothing about his background that is true. And of course, if we talked about this 2 days ago and you'd said, "What's next?" We would have said anti-Semitic and racist tweets, of course, and that showed up yesterday. So he's perfect. Yeah,
I thought he was Jewish.
No, he's Jewish. Before that, he was a little bit Nazi-ish.
Yeah, was it
and that didn't work as well for him because in Long Island, it's better to be Jewish if you're going to get elected. So he switched in sort of 2019. He's beautiful, and it's
when John Kerry like sunk his entire presidential campaign around flip-flopping on the Swift boat like veterans issue, and it was like it wasn't even like a flip-flop, like his opinion had like slowly evolved and like compared to
right. So this is like flip-flopping on Nazism. He used to be sort of for it. Now he's pretty against it.
How have we forgotten how he built the veteran out of money, and then to cure the dog of
no, and that's my favorite part of it, because if you're not prepared to steal $3,000 from the disabled veteran to cure the service dog, then you're not really committed to the bit. But not our George. Our George is committed to the bit. Also, the fervent, angry denials that he was ever a drag queen in Brazil, only, not that there's anything wrong with being a Brazilian drag queen, it's kind of the most appealing thing about him, but then, it's outrageous that they would call me a drag queen in Brazil. And then a few days later, it's, I just got dressed up a few times, for festivals. He's perfect. He's like Saturday Night Live couldn't have made him up.
There isn't just one Saturday Night Live. There's every night show has like their own version of him. I also just
which means he'll be running for president soon.
No, Senate.
I was just going to
say he's got to challenge Schumer for the.
No. Why do things in stages? Let's just go big.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. This is like you could have substituted this conversation with Donald Trump in 2015, and we would have Like, you know, okay, let's ask in terms of absurdity measure, what's more absurd? Donald Trump becoming president or George Santos becoming president? Like, so obviously it was a huge leap to, so we went from here in terms of normality, like then Donald Trump. So like a huge leap in like what constitutes the normal. Then would it be the same delta, the same difference if George Santos, like the guy who doesn't even pretend, well, I mean, he barely, at least Trump tried to present himself.
No, Trump
as
has,
though he
has an actual authenticity vibe. The people who support Trump support him because he's authentic, right? They take him seriously, not literally. Santos, it's actually impossible to take either seriously or literally. There is literally nothing authentic about him. But what I love about him is that that's his jam, right? He's a totally vacant human being.
Like
And that's kind of how he's
is that he's inauthentic.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the right, as they say, he's really leaning into it.
Exactly.
And
he's also, can I just say in defense of George, he has taken the unashamed thing to a kind of a different level, and has maintained at the same time a certain level of outrage at the accusations. That is like,
do you think he likes it? Do you think it's because he likes it? Like, there's like an element there that's like that's got like such a yick factor. Like, ugh.
I don't know. I have no idea what his internal monologue is. But like every day he seems outraged at the allegations that he's going to confirm tomorrow. Not one of the allegations has turned out to be untrue. And every day he's been like indignant that that they're making up about the fake news is making up that I faked a volleyball heroism at Baruch College. Like, how do you maintain that level of indignation at being caught for that long?
Because they didn't catch the really good lie where he said he was a football player.
I mean, it's unbelievable, and it's just such a beautiful performance. You couldn't have made it up.
Okay, this is at scale. I think this is correct. Like, it is just absolutely unbelievable. But I want to know, like, I like these like tales from like his former roommates that are like, when he went on Stop, like, did you see this like report? It was in the New York Post that was like, when he went to the Stop the Steal rally
with a stolen scarf,
he was wearing the stolen scarf that was like he had like stolen from his roommate, and it was like
it was a $500 scarf. I didn't know there was such a thing as a $500 scarf.
Oh, there was like, this was like a whole thing. Burberry scarves in like the late 2000s, like aughts and like early 20s were especially in like Boston, and I was living there on and off at the time. And like my friend Cosmo thought it was so excessive, and like the Sudan crisis was happening at the time that he started a Facebook group called Burberry Scarves for Darfur, which you would donate Burberry scarves for like, it was just like this. Sorry. Anyways, but yes,
and
Burberry
George Santos
scarves
donated his roommate's scarf.
Yes.
I mean, I'm really generous with stolen stuff myself, so But the thing is, what I rip off is like Bic pens. If I'm like at the bank and I have to endorse a check, I might forget to return the pen, and then I feel guilty because I'm, I've stolen a pen, and so I'll like give it to somebody. That's like, but imagine.
That's just called getting rid of evidence, Ben.
I would just say, as your attorney, I think we need to change the topic.
I cannot confirm, of course, or deny any specific example of pen thievery.
have you in hearing this, I feel like I know people that I have interacted with, not in great detail, but like I have known a few people who have had who are like a little bit like George Santos. They do not run for Congress, but like the people who are like fabulous.
Wait a minute. Pause over that.
And like tell these tales. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, you know,
yeah. But I want to pause over the they don't run for Congress because that seems to me to be a big difference. Like, we all know pathological liars. People who literally they cannot say a true word, or if they accidentally do, it's a kind of faux pas and they immediately surround it with lies. We all know people like that. But the they don't run for Congress thing, or they tend to get caught pretty early in the process. How did this guy end up getting elected?
Can I just say one thing, which is that it may very well be that the difference between Santos is just like a matter of presentation. That in fact, like,
he doesn't wear dog shirts.
Successful politicians have a certain sociopathic personality that enables them to kind of ape human emotions on demand, but their internal monologue is a bit kind of strategic. And then you have the 5% of the population.
Okay, but let's maybe this needs to be a poll or something. How many of you have ever pretended to be a Holocaust survivor? And wait.
No, Ben, you didn't put up the poll.
No,
okay.
I didn't.
We also should put up the question: how many of you have ever pretended to be from a biracial family?
I'm not gonna do this. No, but did he actually say that? I don't feel like he did. He didn't say he was a Holocaust survivor.
No, he said his grandparents were his grandparents were Holocaust survivors, and he was Jewish, both of which are false. His parents were in Brazil at the time of his grandparents were in Brazil at the time of the war and were not Jewish. It's not like a subtle case of like interpretive excess.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ben. That's on the edge.
Wait, you guys, is anyone like, I know Ben is like, this guy's a great American, he's what we deserve, and there's like, I'm like, okay.
Yes, Troy Tanks, rightly, I forgot, his mom barely survived 9/11 and later died of injuries, inhalation-related cancers, none of which had anything to do with the truth.
In truth, she died of shame.
Yeah, well, you would too.
Oh my God. But wait.
You know, people can't know, like on social media, for example, like people can't commit to the bit. Even like just a pure text-based thing of like going through with they just crumble immediately. Right. And, you know, but this guy, there's no friction, you know, he can just turn it on.
And be honest, Scott, do you admire that as much as I do?
I you know, because I would just tell you that I think that the essence of shit posting is the internal struggle. That is a sociopath who is able to, you know, kind of run with it. You know, I feel like that's not fair. You know, what you have to do, you have to like feel guilty. You have to feel bad. You have to like feel like maybe you're doing the wrong thing, but you're doing it for comedy.
Okay, so what about you, Kate, as somebody who is actually incapable of lying about anything?
No, I fucking
when you are confronted with somebody who mellifluously and effortlessly, in fact, it requires effort for him not to lie, given the percentage of facts out of his mouth that aren't true. Do you admire it or does it bother you?
bothers me. What the fuck, Ben? Like, I'm like, no.
As somebody who hates lying, what do you think the world's largest liar?
Yeah, exactly. Ben, I hate that you I actually hate that you admire him. Like, I hate, like, it bothers me that you get such joy out of this, even though I'm laughing. And like, this has been a very good topic. I actually have been dying to be like, but wait, we all hate him, right? Like, we all really hate him.
I really don't. I think he's like, I want to like embalm him and put him in the MoMA. You know, like it's.
I literally think that there should be capital punishment for this. And then you can embalm him.
He doesn't seem like a real person. He just seems like a character. He seems like he's like.
But he's in like one of our most hallowed institutions. This is just like farcical. It is like literal farce. It is like the fact that he is like this, like he's like this bump, like with his like 1950s like Buddy Holly glasses and his pilfered wardrobe that his mom, who is dead but not from 9/11, like made for him. And like, I don't know, like this whole thing is like, I just hate it.
Can I bring this around to balkanization?
Oh, sure. Everything comes around.
So Jack told.
I still want to hear GDF's answer to this question.
Okay,
but,
do that.
But wait, go first. Give us the balkanization tie-in, and because
okay. So Jack Balkan said he talked about Neil Postman's work. And the was it laugh till you kill? What's the you'll laugh so hard you'll die? Or
no, like amusing ourselves to death.
Yeah, amusing ourselves to death, right? And so the idea being that with the advent of mass media, especially television, it would be a merger of politics and entertainment. And George Santos, in some sense, like we're getting to the singularity where like politics just is pure entertainment reality.
Ooh, I have a serious thought on this point after we hear from GDF, but I think this is a very deep.
It is a good point.
No, Ben, go now, please, because.
No, I want to hear GDF's take on it.
Yeah, I do too.
He's insane. Like, it's insanity. Like, first of all, I can't tell if he has just a terrible memory or a great memory because he's got so much nonsense out there. And I mean, how do you keep that straight? And can you imagine if they'd harnessed that power for good instead of stupidity? Like, that would have been incredible.
Yeah. I do think if we were good people, we would be focusing on the point that he is clearly has a very serious mental illness problem, health. But we're actually not good people, except GDF.
Oh no, we're great
so
people.
We're focusing on the comic aspects of it, which is, having spent a lot of time around psych wards, there are comic elements to mental illness. It's just that we're not supposed to focus on them. Okay.
I'm a little worried. I just this is kind of one of the things that I don't like about
me.
No, yes, that's true. But the Lincoln Project and which is just kind of that they only came out of the woodwork when a truly farcical person came I think it was mostly because they like to make fun of him. And that was part, and I think that I don't know. I don't know. There's a disingenuousness about your love of it. You can't possibly actually love him. You don't hate Congress that much. And the institution of law and government.
I'm going to stick with the bit and say, no, hey, I really do love him. I think the next 2 years would be so much better with him in Congress. And I'm sure Hakeem Jeffries, by the way, agrees with me that this, if the Democrats managed to get him to resign or he got indicted quickly rather than drawing it out for a while, this would create, it would be the ultimate Pyrrhic victory. I mean, then the story goes away. Every day that this story is in the paper, Hakeem Jeffries wakes up with a smile on his face. So do I. Not for the same reasons, just because I am a connoisseur of human folly, and I think this man is a once in a
Generation.
century find, a refined diamond.
I have two
I
questions.
believe as a man wearing a dog shirt and a blazer and describing as a connoisseur of human folly. I believe you, Ben.
So I have a question for everyone. If he does not get reelected, how long do you think before a biopic is made? Because he's got to cash in on the fame when he can. And then if if he is reelected, how long until he's on the Judiciary Committee?
You know, it's the guy's going to have a second act. That's all I can say. He's I don't know what the second act is going to be, but I am so there for it.
Yeah, I mean, I listened to the podcast. This podcast.
Do we have him on in lieu of fun?
You kidding?
You know he would come.
Right, exactly.
I would be so angry at you, Ben. I would be so angry because it would first of all violate the rule that we have to kind of agree on a guest, and then two, it would violate the rule of I can be at least passively polite and nice to the person in any way, and I would just have to make this face the whole time
No, but here's the thing: is I don't actually want to talk to him, but there's no useful conversation to have with the GDF.
I object. Do you know how many questions we could ask and what kind of record we could build and how ridiculous we could get this?
Okay, that could actually be fun.
So you want him on?
I would have questions.
It would be we get Ev on this and
have her do her ChatGPT skills on oh my god.
All right, I'll invite him.
Great.
So I want to make a serious point about
we also have a bajillion questions, and we have to decide whether we're going to try to go through any of them. So you guys look at them and see, and then text me. And
oh my
it's
God,
okay if we don't have time.
Questions.
I know.
Oh, well, skip my serious point. Let's just go to questions. Let's just go to the audience.
But what I think you were going to say something. I like this.
About
I want to
politics
talk
as
about the
entertainment.
amusing yourselves to death. Yeah, and about everything turns into entertainment, and but this is a secondary, which is the
while you're figuring out the questions, here's my there are politicians now who are pure entertainment. They have no policy views. They have no. Santos is an example of them. It's not even clear to me how they choose a team. They just, choose a team, and they're essentially influencers within that ecosystem. And then there are politicians who are very traditional. And it seems to me that it is the singular mission of the entertainment to make sure the traditional politicians, who may be very serious policy minds, are dragged down to the level of the entertainment. And so the classic example of this is Adam Schiff, who is a very serious guy, a very thoughtful guy, made minor mistakes as the chairman of the Intelligence Committee. And Kevin McCarthy has sort of gone out of his way to equate him with Marjorie Taylor Greene by stripping him of his Intelligence Committee assignment. And I think this is the entertainment wing, and there is an entertainment wing in both parties. It's much more pronounced on the Republican side. Is committed to dragging the policy wing down to the entertainment level so that they're treated the same, because there's no chance they can be treated in as elevated a fashion as the policy wing. And so the important development is to make sure you treat Adam Schiff like Marjorie Taylor Greene, so that we're all on the same level. And that seems to me to be the way that in a sort of almost Nietzschean sense, the weak are attacking the strong.
Okay.
There we
I
go.
don't.
That's my serious point.
Okay.
Clearly
I don't
landed like a
understand
thud.
the Adam shift. I don't
No,
understand the Adam
I would-
shift as Marjorie
I
Taylor
agree.
Greene point.
Yeah, I would just say that I mean the fact that there is like there is a segment, a small segment, but a very vocal segment of both political parties, but mainly the Republican Party, that is like the real Congress members of Congress of Washington D.C. That is a reality TV show, only a reality TV show. That is that there is no content to it, no political content. They don't stand for anything except for being that character. Is like it's we've been the frog boiling in the water to recognize how unbelievably aberrant that is. It's just that more I couldn't believe forget Donald Trump. I couldn't believe Matt Getz when I first saw him, and then like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Lauren Boebert, and then it's just Madison Cawthorn. It was
Right,
just,
but so those people are crazy clowns. But it is not an accident that the person they went after on the Democratic side, or one of the three, is exactly the opposite, a super substantive, right? Because if you want to draw an equivalence between the party, if you want to have a both sidesism, you can say, well, they have their Marjorie Taylor Greenes and they have their Adam Schiffs. And all of a sudden you've drawn an equivalence between, Bozo
I
the
see what you're
clown
saying.
and a very serious person who,
yeah,
by the way, is being retaliated against because he led the righteous impeachment of Donald Trump and the righteous investigation of the Russia matter. And so by treating him like Marjorie Taylor Greene, you can discredit both of those things. But the result is that we can't treat Marjorie Taylor Greene like a serious policy person, but we can treat a serious policy person like Marjorie Taylor Greene. And so this is how the dregs drag everybody down to their
Lowest
level.
common denominator. It's like a literal regression,
Yeah.
like to the mean, and they're like literally like changing where the mean is. Like, I mean, like I think that that's exactly right. Well, this is why I think Santos is like so terrible. To make the boiling frog metaphor more perfect, it's like he's not even a fucking frog. He's like a rubber frog. He like isn't even a real frog. And the reason he exists in the boiling water is because he just is unfazed by it, because he's not real enough as like an actual frog to like be phased. He's like a pretend human. He's like
What are those
frog.
pathogens in like the volcanic water?
Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. One of the pathogens that survives in like 145 degrees Celsius water.
so this was the Fox News strategy of calling itself fair and balanced. It was
Right.
basically saying,
Bingo.
it was designed to drag the other side down. It was not designed to elevate itself.
And
That's a great
and
point. That's a good
and
point.
and really critically, it worked because CNN now tries to imitate Fox, not the other way around.
Yeah, I mean that's true. Yeah.
Good. This has been good news. Thanks, guys. I'm gonna
Yeah.
David Potts. I hate you all. Like Ben, you the most. Like, there he's. Oh,
We have 15 minutes. Oh, we have 10
Cat
minutes and
lawyer.
18 questions.
I'm not a cat.
hi.
I'm not a cat.
David Botts, it is lovely to see your face.
Hi, David.
It is super wonderful to see all of you. I've missed you so much, and I've missed everybody in the choir, and so it's really great to see all of you. I have a question, and my question is: how should the arrest of ex-agent Charles McGonagall change our view of the 2016 election and related matters?
Fantastic.
Yeah. This is the one substantive question I picked, also because it was David. But then we have Ducks with Pants, who has a good follow-up question to bring us out on. But David, excellent question. Anyone want to go? Ben?
I can take it if so. It's a very complicated question, but the short answer is I would resist the conspiracy theories on both sides. I don't mean.
Okay, well then Ben just disappeared. Wait, where'd you go?
Sorry,
You would
I'm
resist
here.
the conspiracy theories on both sides.
Yeah, so a lot of people in the center left are saying this shows that we can't trust the quite indeterminate findings because this guy was a bad guy and he was involved. I don't think that's right because the actual people who were responsible running the investigation were Pete Strzok, Bill Priestap, and ultimately Andy McCabe and Jim Comey. And I don't think that this guy was in a position to prevent the. I don't know that the. I don't have any reason to believe that the head of counterintel in the New York field office was in a position to frustrate the investigation or that leads weren't followed because of him. So it seems to me to require a step beyond what we have any evidence of. On the other hand, the Trumpists are loudly saying, hey, the Russia investigation was being run, which is not true, by somebody who was, had some untoward relationship and is now under indictment for an untoward relationship with Oleg Deripaska. So how can collusion investigate collusion? And again, that suffers from the same problem, which is, what is it's the mirror image problem. What is the finding in the Mueller report that is not true? And it seems to me if you're on the right / far right, until you can identify some material defect in the Mueller report, you're just blowing smoke out of your ass. And so I think the best response at this point is it doesn't change anything except that it's a fucking disaster institutionally for the Bureau that, it was like had somebody working for Oleg Deripaska in the New York field office in the CI area. That's a huge integrity problem for the Bureau. But I'm not sure I'm not sure it creates I would need more before I had doubt about the integrity of the Mueller. That's my basic answer.
Also, Ben, you were on TV for an entire hour on MSNBC yesterday.
With a dog shirt.
With a dog shirt and a blazer. It was
of important relevance for this audience. There was a dog shirt the entire time. And I also just want to point out that I got no negative blowback from the dog shirt. And so that is now my official MSNBC uniform.
Yeah, fair enough. It was
would be awesome,
yeah, exactly.
It would be awesome if I could believe that, but whatever. Go ahead. Next question.
Yeah. Okay. Ducks with Pants.
Hey everybody, how are you doing?
Are you wearing pants?
So great to see you.
I am.
It's personal.
But
Also,
congrats on your normalization of the dog shirt on cable television. That's
serious question though, Ducks. I mean, this has been bothering me for a while. When you're not wearing pants, is it Ducks with Pants without pants, or is it Ducks without pants?
Well, I mean, Ducks Without Pants is the fake band, which I am the sole member.
right.
So
you're the duck.
I mean, it's a band of the mind. It's, everybody should have a fake band. It's something I've aspired to since childhood.
What are you
So
so George Santos now?
yeah.
Ooh.
Anyway, aside from trying to invoke getting Kate to invoke her powers that she used against Hertz against Twitter, my other question was wasn't so much a question, but a suggestion that the panel come up with the most outrageous George Santos lie that they think will actually come true, and then we should have a poll on that for the audience to vote on as well.
What do you mean the lie that will come true?
That is something that will either something that is so outrageous that something that will actually come. Since it's been very hard to predict things that have been come next for George Santos, I think we should have some predictions as to future events.
So do you think like the next big lie, future
The
lie?
next future lie that will happen.
That's true. Or like the next, okay.
If it actually, it will occur in the media that people will be talking about.
You mean something that George Santos will be reported to have said that will turn out to be bullshit?
Or just it will turn out, or just
the next outrageous George Santos claim. I think there's bonus points if it actually turns out to be something that is true.
I've got one.
Okay, go GDF.
Well, like, what if it turned out that he actually had gone to prison for running a con scheme? You know what I mean? Like that would be an amazing thing. Like he actually was in prison for for defrauding a bunch of people, and then he says no, it's just not true.
Yeah.
And then it turns out, and then he's like, so what? I'm better now. Like I
All right, what's your example, GDF?
All right, I'm going to pretend to be George Santos for a second. I did not steal any money from my campaign. I had a really wealthy aunt in Switzerland who died and left it to me.
That's actually probably a pretty likely.
That's
like a pretty likely. I feel like that's exactly what he'll actually say. I feel like that is like exactly what will happen.
Yeah.
What's your George Santos lie?
Oh, I think that it'll turn out that like, well, I don't actually know, because like this is actually slightly complicated. You have to know what he said is true in order to like accuse him of lies. But I guess like anything, I think that it'll turn out that he like probably, I don't know, just like, I think he just probably stole a ton of money. Like, I feel like he just has stolen a ton of money.
We already know that.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. I can't think of one. Someone help me. People put it.
Scott, what's your prediction for the next big George Santos lie?
What do you think?
I got one.
Oh, Mateo says that he's the Zodiac killer.
But he's not going to claim that for himself.
I mean, like, I feel like that could be the truth, though, and then we could find out it was George Santos, and
we may find out.
No. Of course, he claims he's the Zodiac killer, and it turns out
that's Ted Cruz's. Yeah. No, the next big George Santos lie is that he trained for the priesthood.
Oh, that he trained for the priesthood while he was Jewish? Or that he actually trained for the priesthood like how he was actually in a drag show for 3 years?
No. He was, it's Luke. It's gonna come out that he told some Catholic group that he was that he had trained for the priesthood, but had not taken vow. That's what's gonna happen.
You see the bear?
Did not use PEDs when he won. Oh, Mateo also adds, did not use performing enhancing drugs when he won the Tour de France.
That was a good one.
See, Mateo should be on the show, not me today. Hi, Luke.
When is Mateo going to say hi?
Mateo, say hi.
Hi. Hi, guys.
Here? There we go. Luke.
Bear? Yeah, you see the bear? Say hi, everybody. What are you doing? Ben!
Sorry.
Can you say something?
Does anyone want Ben's dental records to his death?
George
was
Santos
dramatic.
does.
George Santos. Yes, Ben was murdered by George Santos. That is my.
Oh, God.
Do you know what Luke just said? Bat.
Did we?
Did you? Oh, yeah?
You're right. Bat. Apparently, Luke has the category of a weapon that's called bat. And so I think when he saw the Ben's uvula coming at him.
We've like done some gonzo things on the show, but like putting your tonsils on display was oh my God.
I just want to commend the Apple Corporation for the degree to which the iPhone handled that and adjusted for light so that it didn't just go black, but you could actually see my tonsils.
Oh my God. I don't know where in lieu of tonsils. Yeah, I don't like now that we know like more about I was gonna say that Luke has like so many cheeks. He might have a bowling ball of a stomach, but like cheeks and like yeah.
Yeah, they have their own zip code.
He
Yeah.
co-hosted the other day, the last episode when it was just GDF and Luke and me, and he babbled through the entire show. It was great.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that one.
Ben, that was me. That was me.
Yeah.
Good insult.
we have to wrap. Also,
No,
Scott, there you are.
we have 2 more minutes and we have 16 questions.
Okay, let's do them. One word answer to each question. Kate, go.
It's like my property class. I don't know.
So you're wasting time now.
No.
You're
Okay.
taking away time from the questions.
I think I can't. There's too many questions. I can't do it justice. We're just gonna have to do this again, guys. I
You
think
did not commit to the bit.
I think we. I know.
She's not George Santos, people.
I will take that as the compliment that it is. Thank you very much. Sorry. I know. I just I know. I really think that it's like, so Kate, what do you think of George Santos goes up there and like, you know me? like I mean, I do find it endlessly fascinating. I just like, I don't know. Anyways, let me look at my calendar for today. And okay, why don't we just do this again sometime?
We're just going to do it again sometime.
I think that's a good idea.
That's the scheduling acumen we go for in this here organization.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See you all later.
Wait, we don't have fun
Bye.
anymore.
Oh, we don't have fun anymore. We don't have fun.
Yeah, we don't do norms anymore of how we introduce the show, how we close the show. We let all the standards slide.
You got to commit to the bit.
What? He says you're wrong. Mateo says you're wrong, and then we need to sign off. And
I agree with Mateo. Do you remember the sign off, Kate?
We don't have fun anymore. But in lieu of fun, we have
Ben's uvula.
My God. I'm ending it. Stop.